And you see, young people, you're living in a time in which you can no longer stand by and be idle. You can no longer stand by and just be sitting there comfortably doing your own thing, because there is a devil, there is an enemy, and if you're not going to be for God, then you are going to be swept away by the current of what is happening in this world. There are so many of my friends that I grew up with that I speak with them now, and it's like their mind is blinded. The sin has entered their heart. Because right now you're looking at yourselves and you're saying, well, surely I will never think like that. Not on God's side. If you're not standing strong with the Lord, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you're going to be talking with your parents, and in your mind it's going to be perfectly okay for you to live in sin with another human, another girl, another boy. For you, it's going to seem very normal that there are people out there that, you know, are living a life of self-pleasure, that they are living a life in which they're just drinking and smoking and glorifying the self. Because see, that's what the devil does. He comes in and he twists the standards, and he twists the mind, and he twists the understanding, so that now all of a sudden you think that it's okay. You might not want to do it, but you think it's okay. And as a church, many times we stand by and we think that we're protected in these four walls, and we're not. We are not protected. I want to speak about a story in 1 Kings. I love the Old Testament because many times it is a picture of what is going to happen in the New Testament. Many times the Old Testament shows the character of God. It shows the holiness of God. And you know, today we live in a day and age in which grace and in which mercy and forgiveness are preached, but holiness is not preached anymore. How many times have you been told that God is a holy God and He expects holiness from you? How many times have you been told that it's not just, you know, God overlooking your sin, but God expects you, He forgives sin, but He expects you to live a life of holiness, a life that doesn't compromise, a life in which you choose to follow what God has ordained for you to follow. Let's open the Bibles to 1 Kings chapter 18. 1 Kings chapter 18. And it's a very well-known story. This is the story of Elisha the prophet. And you see, Elijah was called in a time to be a prophet to a people that had actually not forgotten God. But what they did is they took God and that they introduced other gods with God.
When you walk with Jesus and you read His word, you begin to know Him, and you begin to know the truth, and the truth, it shall set you free. The truth, it shall set you free. Jesus is the one that sets you free. It is not a pastor, it is not a prophet, it is not an apostle, but it is Jesus. Jesus that sets you free. When you read the Word of God, when you study, when you eat it every day, and you take it into your heart, it begins to do something in you. It begins to change something in you. It begins to transform you. You begin to think differently. You begin to act differently. You begin to understand differently. You begin to love differently. Because Jesus is the way.